Hey guys, welcome back to my next book preview video. This week we have Anatomy of Facial Expressions by Uldis Zarins. So this is part of the Anatomy for Sculptors series, but do not worry, it is not just for sculptors, it is for all artists. So let's get straight into this one. This is quite a big, heavy hardback book. Let's see if I can get to the contents page so that you guys can pause that and take a look on camera, because this one is quite a big table of contents. Hopefully my camera is focusing okay, it's always a little bit tricky. So the pages have sort of a slightly silky finish, so there is a little bit of reflection still. In fact, what I'm going to do is prop something behind that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Sorry, it's not ideal. Anyway, I just wanted to start by saying anything that starts with the skeleton or the fundamentals of structure is always a really good starting place for any artist. I actually bought a Proco skull as well, by the way. To use for reference. If anyone is interested in that, I will put a link in the description box below or on screen to anyone that wants to check that out. So there are 3 books in this series. One of them I've already reviewed at the time of recording this, which is the general anatomy one, so like body anatomy. This one is of course the Anatomy of Expressions, one that I'm really excited about. This is the one I wanted the most. And then there's also a head and neck anatomy book. In fact, before we go any further, I will just show them on camera. So I'll review this one shortly, or preview it I should say. This one I already have a video on, so make sure you check that out. Again, links below. So that first Anatomy for Sculptors, the body one, that one I have used quite a bit and I really like it. These other 2, I haven't really studied much from yet. I've flicked through them a few times and I'm really excited to get going. I just have not had chance yet. So this is more of a flick through than an actual review. I did look on Amazon to get other people's opinions on this, and they're just so impressive. I mean, you only have to look through these books once at a quick flick through, and you know straight away these books, yeah, they're really good. They are quite expensive. I think they're about £60-ish each. I think you can buy them as a bundle. I will put links to where I got mine from in the description box below, as usual. But from other people's reviews as well, they're all raving about it, saying it's worthwhile alone just from the reference you get from these books. So there's a whole chapter, I think it's in this one, looking at different faces, as well as that, it is really good quality photos. That's something I always have a bit of an issue with some books when they're, when the quality isn't very good, the print on it. These look, at a glance, they look a little bit complicated. But honestly, they're actually really well broken down. And compared to other, anatomy books and drawing books in general, not only is it broken down quite easy, but it's also very much sort of image-based. There isn't that much text, which, yes, some people might prefer text, but I think most of us as artists, as sort of visual learners, we prefer to see the images. And I do think it's a lot easier to read in that sense. You can pick it up and you can sort of understand the tips just from looking at the diagrams, looking at the pictures, looking at the very short amount of text that is there. I'm comparing that to when you have something like, I don't know, an Andrew Loomis anatomy book, gesture drawing book. Really great books. And I guess the equivalent would be the Drawing the Head and Hands book. So yeah, really great books, but I do find them a little bit overwhelming. The way they are written, it doesn't read too well for me. My brain can't seem to take it in. And as well as that, I would say these, in comparison with the old school Loomis books, for example, this one, the reference is better quality because it's not just someone's illustrations. It's got some of that in here. It's got draw-overs, but it's obviously 3D models. It's a lot of photos. So it does break down more of the scientific, technical side, which muscles cause which expressions, maybe, for example, pulling on the lip from this muscle, which is going to cause this muscle to appear more creased or larger in size, things like that. So it probably sounds, again, a little bit overwhelming, but I do think this book does a really good job of breaking it down. And one of the reasons I was really excited about this book in particular out of the 3 is actually that I've been getting into slightly more cartoony work myself and enjoying certain artists that do exaggerated poses and exaggerated characters. And one thing that I think always makes them look really good is the expressions. I think that's what really sets them apart and makes the artwork more interesting and also more fun to do. So what else can I say about this book? It does have a range, as you can probably tell, of models. So we've got various ages, male and female, various ethnicities, which is really good actually for comparing the differences. It's really interesting, and obviously we've got them in different poses, different expressions. Again, this one is focusing on facial expressions. The other one is the sort of general anatomy for the body. And then the third one is the neck and head. I'm not sure too much how that one will differ, but we'll see when I get to that. And this book is about 220 pages, so it's a decent size. Again, hardback, quite a heavy one. There's a lot of information packed in here, even though the text isn't too much, too overwhelming. I would say these are really good for all levels of artists. So regardless of whether you're just starting and want to pick up some tips, or whether you're quite an advanced artist, there are definitely things in here that will help you learn things that you probably weren't aware of. I find these books really good for just picking up tips. And it's clear on this book that the author actually does have a good understanding scientifically of the muscles and how they work, the insertion points, the bones. And you can buy these as physical books like this one, or you can buy the ebooks for cheaper, the PDFs, whatever they are. So I'll put links below to where you can get everything from. Definitely worth checking out though, and I would look at the Amazon reviews as well. People are buying these regardless of what kind of artist they are. I'm an illustrator, so I'm not a sculptor, so don't let that put you off. I've seen people in medical schools buying these as well. I couldn't comment on it from that perspective, but it just shows how good the information is what I'm getting at there. But that's it guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out a lot, and make sure to check out the other books in the description box below. Thanks for watching.